protests of 1968 similar to those today. The protests surprised many, but they grew out of years of young Mexican Americans learning about social activism or making a positive change in the world. Some learned at summer camps, some learned at churches, some learned at a coffee shop. Sanchez, who was 18 years old at the time, opened La Pereña Coffee Shop and formed the Brown Berets. In 1967, hours before a protest against police harassment, he bought hats like the ones on posters of Latin American revolutionary Che Guevara. The Chicano Youths for Community Action became the Brown Berets. The Brown Berets and other East LA students refused to wait for adults to act. This is similar to the high school students today from Parkland, Florida. After a mass killing at their school in February, the students organized protests to seize the gun control debate. The protests begin. Joseph Rodriguez, then a sophomore at Garfield High, recalled sitting in science class when someone banged on the door and yelled, "Walkout! Walkout!" My teacher looked me in the eyes, Rodriguez recalled, and said, "I can see you're really interested in this stuff. You're free to go." Police in heavy armor arrived and ordered the students back to class. Most refused. Students carried American flags and signs reading, "We demand schools that teach," and "School, not prison." The unrest continued for about a week, and the school board eventually agreed to two demands: more teachers who could speak Spanish and English, and smaller class sizes. Smaller classes allow students to receive more help from teachers. Increase in Mexican-American college students. A year after the protests, the number of Mexican-American students at the University of California, Los Angeles soared from 100 to 1,900. Over decades, college attendance by Mexican Americans also increased greatly throughout the U.S. Chicano Studies programs were founded at colleges and universities across the nation. Still, perhaps the protests' greatest accomplishment was fostering in the Mexican American community a sense of possibility and realization that a just cause sometimes requires speaking up. Until that day, it never crossed my mind that Garfield High was run down, overcrowded, and lagging behind public schools in wealthier white neighborhoods, said Rodriguez, who later became a prize-winning writer at the San Jose Mercury News. All that changed after the blowouts.